at any time and keep him there, because they too will consider that they are part of the eating game. So thanks, I yield.
All right. Yes, thank you very much, John Bakoro. Just like I was emphasizing here, that you have your opinions, but we're not taking sides with the claims, whatever you've said regarding the killings on the ground. We are certainly not in accordance with you. We cannot independently verify those information. So we're not taking sides with those information and what you've claimed so far. But then we give you an opportunity to share with us your opinion. Before I come back to continue back in the studio, we're giving time for our audience, those watching us. You can send in your reactions. We expect your calls. Tell us what you think regarding the upcoming regional elections. Tomorrow is the due day. Let's hear from you. We have a call online. Welcome to the program. Let's hear you. You're live on the program, Pan-African Debate. Let's get your opinion, please.
Good afternoon for all your partners. Actually, I want to thank for African Media, and what I want to say again, I want to talk.
Please, can you be a little audible? Let's get your opinion, please.
Like Mbah TV. It is in Mbah TV that they make propaganda of Amazon. Here is African Media, a TV where they speak the truth. So each time that Mr. Mbah is coming to African Media, let him put his mind that African Media is not a propaganda TV. So when he comes, let him speak the truth. Let him speak the truth. What about the CPDM members who are in the Northwest and Southwest? Are they staying at home because they want, because of the lockdown? No, they are staying if they have to stay at home, it's because they are afraid. It's not because they want. It is not only the people who support Ambazonia who are in Northwest and Southwest. You have all type of people, and all type of people. What are they doing? They are afraid. So when Dr. Nick is talking about people are staying at home because they are afraid, it is the truth. Now I want also to talk about the Anglophone elite. They are in all political parties. What are they doing? When Dr. Nick is saying that Biya is doing what the President Biya is doing what he's supposed to do, but when people that are supposed to do the right thing, they are not doing the right thing, what do you want? What do you want? You are just talking on the CPDM member who are on the platform, but he's not the one.
Okay.
He has his own.
All right. Please, thanks very much for your opinion. Thanks for your opinion. Please always make your reactions very short and straight to the point. We appreciate that. We have another call online, Elvis from Boya. Welcome to the program. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Your life on Pan-African Debate.
Yes, I have a comment from lawyer. Yes, the problem of this issue of regional election is just a fiasco. Yeah, when you look for what happened at the national dialogue, it has not been any fruit. And now we are talking of regional dialogue. All of this are fiasco. So, what John Bakoro is saying is the truth. He gives the analysis very well. When you see before this crisis started, there was nothing like Mbah. So, when they started killing the Anglophone, that's where they pick up arms. They never had any intention to pick arms. So they push the people to the wall before they pick up arms. You see, since Anglophone, they have been like wanting to come back to the federal system, but the Cameroon government, they are not allowing them to come back to their federal system, because the centralized system is really is making everything, no development in the northwest, no development in the southwest. So that's why these people are belonging to do their own thing by themselves. But the Cameroon government have decided to centralize things so that they should be controlling everything. And before they know, this country was two. They have the Southern Cameroon and they have the East Cameroon. So these are two people that they came together. Because Anglophone, they were crying for marginalization. So they said, no, we came together as two entities. Let us share the cake equal. But this other side of the Mongol, they want to try to assimilate, want the Anglophone to be in their own culture. That is not fair. And when I hear Francophone, they call and begin to try to support whatsoever, it's not correct. It's life-telling. All the things that the Francophone are doing, they are all life-telling. They need to tell the truth. And even the history of this country, they want to try to cover the history of this country, which they will never work. They should do the right thing, and the right solution will come. So I did with December Okoro and all the Southern Cameroon.
Okay, thank you very much from Boya. Thanks for your opinion. If you have another caller again online before we come back to continue with our panelists here in the studio, let's have you. If you're there, let's get your opinion. All right, let's get your opinion. Welcome to the program, the Pan-African Debate.
Thank you. Good evening. I want to be very fast. I want to say that one of the problems that we have today in Southwest and the Northwest is that the representation is not the people's representation. Let's just talk about the parliamentary or the councillors. Are you sure these councillors were duly voted by the people? Are they there to represent the people? Do you think the people recognize them? You can answer that for me. And then again, let's go about the chiefs. Let's forget about the Northwest region. The Northwest region, the thing is hereditary there. But let's talk about the chiefs of the Southwest region. There are some chiefs that were imposed by the administration to the people. And these people don't obey them. They don't pay allegiance to these chiefs. And these chiefs, maybe some of them will represent them in the House of Chiefs. That's the problem that we have. They are not the true representatives of the people. So when they are going there, it's like they are just going there on their own. In fact, people don't even know what is happening. One guy was asking me yesterday, what's the election all about? I tried to explain to him. It's about who are going to represent, and we don't know them. Very few of the chiefs are the true representatives of the people, because the true chiefs were kept aside and some administration imposed other chiefs on the people. That's what is happening. So, like somebody, the last speaker just said, for us to solve this problem, we begin to tell ourselves the truth. And the worst thing you can do to yourself is when you begin to tell yourself a lie. I can tell you a lie, you can tell me a lie, but I begin to tell myself a lie. That's the worst thing that can ever happen to me. I think the time has come for us to sit down and say the truth. Well, let's leave God to solve the problem, because I think that the thing is more than us. It's only God that can bring a solution to this problem. God bless you. Bye for now.
Thank you for your opinion. Thanks for being there. We appreciate it. If you have another caller, let's get the last caller. All right, now back here in the studio, those of you joining us live on Pan-African Debate and Afrique Media, maybe the last call before we come back here in the studio. Welcome to the program, the Pan-African Debate.
Come back here in the studio. Welcome to the program, the Pan-African Debate. Come back here in the studio. Welcome to the program, the Pan-African Debate.
For the fact that the crisis in these two regions has become a money-making kind of, it's kind of interest, and people are making money out of it. Now, many just want the crisis to continue because they are eating fat from what is happening on the ground, even at the detriment of those who are suffering, and the masses who are suffering. Now, do you think that even if we have to call a federation today, do you think they are still going to be satisfied, because there are people who just want the disorder to continue because they are eating from it? Now, do you see a definite end to the crisis, even if the government has to propose maybe federalism at this point in time?
Thank you, Luis. At this point in time, if the government were to propose federalism, it would be too little, too late. I think Mr. Mbah cited 2 surveys that were carried out, one by the Coalition for Dialogue and Negotiations, and one by some other organization. And the Coalition for Dialogue and Negotiation, to which I belong, revealed that 86% of the population of Southern Cameroons opted for total independence, to have nothing to do with the Republic of Cameroon. So I think that if any person were to talk about federation, because in that survey, federation, the federalists had, I think, 7%. 7%. So it is surely going to be too little, too late. I think what should happen now is that they should let the people speak. It is not a matter for one person to say, I am giving you this. Let the 2 countries sit together and batter out the modus vivendi. Let us sit together and decide what form of state we want. You want it, I mean, it should be a popular solution, a popular opinion. I should not say, I want confederation. Or Dr. Nick should not say, I want confederation. Let the people's representatives, who should come from the grassroots, who should not be CPDM people,
all right,
come say, this is what we want.
All right,
because we all know that if it is CPDM, nobody will listen to them, because we know that they are going to sing their master's voice. So federation at this point in time, it cannot go.
Okay,
it is too little, too late.
All right.
The problem in the field is that everybody wants that the root causes be addressed, and that root cause is that there was some swindling that happened in 1961. There was swindling. I mean, the bad game that happened. Instead of people signing union treaty, they went and enacted their own constitution and put us inside. So now it has been realized. We say, don't give us your own version anymore. We must have our say.
Okay.
Because if you cannot come to terms, then the only thing left will be for the UN to conduct a referendum for the people, then the grassroots, everybody there and those in the diaspora decide what they want.
Senior Barrister,
if you don't want that, okay.
Let's have this caller from Bambalang. I'm not cutting you short. Let's have somebody from Bambalang. It's in the Northwest region. Let's get your opinion. Welcome to the program. Let's get your opinion. Yeah, you're live on the program.
Yeah, what I want to comment on. Yes, I want to make a comment concerning what Dr. Nick said about the fear, about the ghost town. The lockdown started when the people received it willfully. But when the government started using some repressive measures to thwart the process, that was where the Mbah boys too, they saw that if they don't also apply repressive measures, the government will use force to break down the ghost town. You know all what the government has been doing. On Mondays, they organized shopping like what the city mayor of Bamenda was doing. Those were all efforts to thwart the process. So that is the reason why some level of force must be applied on both sides to counter what the government was doing. But from the inception, the people took it and it became a tradition, so that every Monday people knew what they were going to do on that day and adjusted their program. Secondly, about the election, the people should understand that, the government should understand that the boys in the bush who are really fighting the government today, they have nothing to do with decentralization or whatsoever. It is only when they come to a compromise that their leaders can tell them to drop their guns and they will listen to them. What has the man in the bush got to do with decentralization? Or what they are doing, whether the development or no development, they don't have anything to do with it. Their problem is the stand that they have taken and they hear from their leader. And it is only when the government will come to a compromise with their leaders that their leaders will tell them to drop their gun. You cannot tell somebody who is not under your control to drop his gun and you think that he will accept. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for your opinion. We very much appreciate, and thanks for being there. And we're coming back here in the studio, Dr. Nick Ngwanyam, at this point in time tomorrow. The Pioneer Regional Council elections are taking place tomorrow. Now, many have been clamoring, just like you say, that this might not be a solution to the long-standing crisis, the Anglophone crisis of 4 years now and counting. Yet, the people on the ground who are going through difficulty, those who have died, those who have been displaced as a result of the crisis, want a name to the crisis now. What do you think could be done at this point in time? The election, just like the presidential election, which was largely boycotted, went through successfully, and tomorrow we still know that the elections will still go on successfully. Now, should we keep on singing the same song? Why? What do you think can be done?
Well, what I can say is that the elections will go on successfully, peacefully, because we have seen bigger elections, so to speak, elections that were supposed to be all over the whole place. And there was insecurity, and they still held somehow. So these ones, is even the electoral college is even restricted, and they will just do it there, so it's no big deal. So the elections will take place. And whatever results come out, that's what we will have. But again, it's an exercise. And what I like to say is that for the Northwest and Southwest region, when we would have the proper dialogue, most of what is happening now will be revised in those territories. Will be revised. It's very important that we have some peace in the country, and the peace in the country will start by having a new government, because it makes sense that after the presidential elections, council and parliamentary elections, and then these ones now, we need a new government, a new set of people who can think out of the box and bring solutions to these problems, because, like you said, a problem is never solved at the level at which it was created.
Now, when you talk about a new set of people now, do you mean politically?
Yes, we need, because we have, listen, the problems in Cameroon have been caused 80% by elites.
But many believe that the problem is beyond political. It's not political. Politics cannot solve it.
No, probably I guess you are saying it is actually politics done the right way that will solve it. Okay, but what you are saying is the problem cannot be solved by guns, because we already agree that if you kill all Anglophones, it's not the solution. Killing people is not the solution. So we need to solve these problems, and we need people who number one are God-fearing, who love other human beings, and who tell the truth. We need to sit at the table and face the facts, because like I said, a lot of people are being controlled by their stomachs. And what is going on now is that the war economy has set in, and you have the dogs of war phenomenon that is in there. You have people who have gone in, who are racketeering, and then money is flowing in somehow, and people, it's a form of commerce, and people would not like that to stop. And even the people up, other gun carrying people, they are kidnapping people and making a lot of money they have never had. So things have just gone out of the window. We need to stop that madness. And the country has a lot of problems now, and there's no need to be delaying and creating more problems. In the north there are still problems. In the east there are other problems. Again, here in the littoral center, west region, there are problems everywhere, especially youth problems. Youth don't have jobs, and we need to sort out the political issues so that there's some sense of peace, so that we can actually begin to fight the economic war, because we have another war. Is the economic war, and it is that economic war, or the lack of opportunity, the lack of money in people's pockets, that is making this political thing really go again in circles. So we need to correct this political thing very quickly and put in place, mechanisms for creating wealth in the country, especially in the youth, for the youths. We need to see that we create jobs for people. We grow our own rice, we grow our own fish, we do our own things, we build our own roads, all these kind of things. We need to do something, because up until now, we are just telling stories and just going around and nothing is being done. And we need to address this thing. It's very important.
All right, now you're proposing that should happen in one Cameroon, in the United Republic, just like...
You see, if somebody tells you that this Cameroon as we have it, you see, when President Paul Biya says that Cameroon is one and indivisible, that statement is correct, okay? And if you listen to the Americans, you listen to the UN, you listen to other people, I mean, who are supposed to back you if you must separate. The people are saying the country is one and indivisible. But the difficulty with the one and indivisible is that statement is understood by different people differently. When the Americans and others and UN are saying Cameroon is one and indivisible, all they are saying is that separation is out of the question. But one and indivisible doesn't mean that confederation and federation are not part of the cake. But when you ask Kedia and his other friends who are very central thing, they will tell you that federation, if you consider federation or confederation, it means Cameroon is divisible. No, they are trying to play some tricks on people who are not going to school. And it's this kind of thing that we do like that causes a lot of problems. Because if we had gone to that dialogue and put things on the table, okay, Cameroon is one and indivisible, fine. So what are the other options? There's centralization, there's federation and confederation. Let's talk about this. Probably would have advanced. But they tell you, if you're going to talk about federation or confederation, it means that you are saying Cameroon is divisible, therefore you are against Paul Biya, which is wrong. You see, they frighten people with concepts like that, and that the only thing which makes Cameroon indivisible is decentralization is wrong. And when Americans and other things, they will say, yes, Cameroon should decentralize. By that word decentralization, it just means go in that thing called Cameroon with a knife and kind of like see how you can partition the cake. Okay. And so federation or confederation is a decentralization as far as the American understands it. But when you use decentralization in Cameroon, you know, with these elites who don't like to face the truth, they will tell you that it can only be decentralized into 10. It's not true. Okay.
Robert Kedia, you've been listening to all the different arguments now. Tomorrow is a due day.
Yes, before I come to talk about the beautiful due day that will bring effective decentralization.
Now, how beautiful do you describe that day?
I'll answer you. Mr. Mbah was talking about shame or somebody coming to talk on TV so that a minister should send money or something like that. It's so embarrassing. I want to ask Mr. Mbah, were you people not the one that went to Swiss and you were asking for 5,000 euros? That should be given to you people before you can talk about bringing peace back in Cameroon. Was it not one of you that hold the bag that was going to sell oil that is found in former British Southern Cameroon, as you people call it? A suitcase.
No, we
saw the video. Going to sell? Charlie, please, I'm coming to that. Most of you, your ward draft and the whatsoever contribution that people have made, have you people not chopped the money? You send children with sticks to go and face the military. And when they fall, you come, you see, people send them this. When you send those children, what are you expecting to happen? When you send those children, what are people expecting to happen? So please, when you send children and you inflame children to go and things happen, don't come and play the saint role here, because you are not the saint. And if you are talking about people that want money, many of you people out there, you want money. Many of you people are looking for this negotiation so that they should call people, sit on the table with you people because you want posts. So we should not be hypocrite here, even though when we talk, we don't go into the extent to say certain things. But we know that. So when you are coming on TV to say certain things, know that that's what you are looking for. But don't assume that that's what another person is looking for. That's been okay. Coming back to what you were asking and being honest, the election that is coming out tomorrow will take place. And I say it in the Northwest and Southwest region. I call it now Northwest and Southwest region because it is the present name. It has been having names. We have had West Cameroon. They have had series of names. German Cameroon. So you call your own perspective, that concerns you. But I call the one now that I know presently. So you have your opinion. The election will take place. The House of Chiefs, they are there. I still repeat it and I say it again. This crisis has been going on. If you say chief have no influence, you are telling a lie. Secondly, if you think the House of Chiefs will have no influence, you are still telling a lie.
Now,
but for me to conclude to say this...
Now, Kedia, when you emphasize on influence, now what influence are you talking about here? Because obviously, you've been talking so much about the influence. How different would the influence be?
Because many people fail to understand that President Paul Biya is the fun of fun. He's still a chief, and he knows what is going on. But what I'm saying is that the chiefs remain one of the senior people, like we'll talk about political elites, like we'll talk about political elite, economic elite, we'll talk about men of God. The chiefs, they will have their role to play in the society, and they have been playing their role. But for me to conclude, I still say that the election will go on very well and effective decentralization will take place. Everybody has this right to his own opinion, but everybody is welcome to support the process to go ahead so that peace can return. To those in the diaspora, if all soldiers present in the northwest and southwest region are out, and you people there in Europe, you appear there, like in Moyoka, you will see what the people will do to you people. As you claim to think that you are loved by the people, and you say somebody is from the CPDM, the person is not loved, somebody is a chief, you say the chief is mistreated, you discredit everybody. If some of you have the courage to come here, you should come and know what people feel, and when people talk, you should know what they go through. So you don't sit in the diaspora, you talk the way you want to talk, and you think that you are right. How can you be in America and you tell me what is happening in Boya, where I go there all the time, where I'm there all the time? What can you tell me about it? People come, you preach, you make people to believe that you are in Europe, but you are in Cameroon, and you tell people like you know everything that happened. We should be honest here. However, I will still conclude to say, all of us, we should be builders of peace. We should give our own quota of peace, because I still believe that, especially us in Cameroon, not those in the diaspora. Everybody here is talking because everybody wants peace. We may not be happy with certain things, but we'll give our own opinion. Being Mr. Fay may not be happy, but what is important is that he loves one and indivisible Cameroon. Same with Barrister and same with Doctor. It's so clear that all of them, they love one Cameroon, but they are not happy with the way things have been moved, because most of them, they are leaders of political parties, they own political parties, and they have position in their political parties that their party is there for one Cameroon, and they are looking for position. So that is very, very clear. They love Cameroon. So everybody is free to come into the boat, and you give your own opinion and contribute with the building. You see, Mr. Luis, it is in our national anthem that up the hills and valley, our parents toiled the Achilles road, and it went further to say, what have you done to pay thy due? Everybody needs to come in to pay thy due for us to build this beautiful country, and that is the way forward. As far as you don't know that you need to come and pay your due, support for it to go up, fine. So we conclude by saying that those in the bushes, please, these guys in the diaspora, they are deceiving you people. Where are the Ivor? Where are the rest? They are deceiving you people. They are fine with their wives and their children, and in the night they enjoy all over the night, and you people are in the bushes suffering. So please drop your arms. Let us move ahead and see how we will solve this problem by the continuous dialogue that will always be, so that we can bring back peace. If somebody is telling you to pick, I'm sorry, that person is deceiving you. We have differentiation in ideology, maybe because of our colonial differences. Yes, we will debate it, we will keep on fighting, and amelioration will keep on taking place, and changes will keep on occurring. But violence is not the way forward. If they love violence, they should come to Cameroon and assist you in the forest. Most people that fought for the independence of their country, they didn't do that abroad. They didn't do that through Facebook. They did it in the terrain. If they can come in the terrain, it shows that they have balls. But if they can't come, they don't have balls, and they are fooling you to go there and be killed.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Kidia. Mr. Fay Elvis, after tomorrow's exercise, the two regions must have gone one step ahead in the direction of resolving the crisis in these two English-speaking regions. Even without being boycotted or not, the elections will go on. Now, after tomorrow's exercise, we must have moved forward. Now, what else do you think should be done after tomorrow?
Well, I got my good friend ranting here, and ranting sounding like a high clanking cymbal. Well, that is what the regime does, to send those kind of people to make noise day in, day out. But it's good. He's my good friend. But you see, there's a question that was asked before I come back to what will happen after tomorrow. We were wanting to find out the exact influence of the chiefs, as he says. He did not answer it. I just saw him rigmaroling around. Because when we say that the election, they have no influence, and no influence is going to come after the general election, my brother is only blowing trumpet in the air. Let the hot air be blown in the air, no trouble. The election, he said quite right. The elections must hold tomorrow. That's for sure. It's a one-man election. Northwest, they're not competing with anybody. Southwest, they're not competing with anybody, because we have satellite parties that have been placed there to present as if their parties competing. It's a one-man show. I would have loved to tell this my young man in the studio to have told CPW that they would have just declared the names of the councillors and already victory for future. Because all what they are doing like that, we know those things as a camouflage of no portfolio. Now, it is true. Some will be in armor cars, some will be caged somewhere, military will be everywhere. Yes, we are now in a military state, that I know. In the name of civilian state, it's a military state. But if you ask me what comes after that tomorrow, Mr. Lewis, after Sunday, activities will return to normalcy with the sufferings of Cameroonians. Anybody who tells you that the regional council and the House of Chiefs will better your life is a lie. A fat lie. If anybody tells you that because I am a regional councillor, because I am a regional chief in Lebialem or in Dian or in Manu, I will be wrote, I will do this, it's a fat lie, because they are only giving opinions. There's nothing they can do to change the actual situation on the ground. Even for peace, they cannot even. For peace, they don't even have what it takes to institute peace, because who are those vying in? Mr. Lewis, this is what people are forgetting to understand. The councillors, through their central committee, were handpicked because most of those that were handpicked must be those who dance to the tune of the elites in Yaoundé. They don't represent the people. That's why I don't even know them. I don't even know who are they as I'm speaking. If you ask me, go to Mbah and tell me councillors, and I only got to know about the chiefs when their files were taken by the SDO, and then the CRIFA went to the administrative court in Mbah. That's only when I knew that these chiefs were the ones involved. The majority who are voting, I don't even know. I'm a journalist, can you imagine? A media man does not know. This is terrible. I don't know whether it is now in Tangi House, whether it has become now a kind of nyongo that they hide and they're doing, people don't even know who they are. This is the kind of democracy Mr. Keja Robert, as if it's the Nyongo house they are running for tomorrow, is proclaiming here. This is sacrilege. And to spell it that after tomorrow or after the D-Day, what will happen? I keep on saying that the guys are working their money. Yaoundé has disbursed money to the chiefs. Money has already gotten to them. They are enjoying and feeling fat. They will get the names tomorrow, because I will surprise by hear them celebrating. What are you celebrating?
All right.
An election result is known before time. You say you are celebrating that you have won regional election.
Okay.
They know their results already before time. Right. And so after tomorrow, Mr. Lewis, what will be happening with these chiefs is that they will only be sitting and waiting for what will be their problem. How much will be allocated for us as chiefs and councillors? Because there's no clear cut how much will be allocated. And so they are now dancing the women caprices of the Yaoundé regime. When they disburse any package, they take and start calculating how to build their houses, buy their vehicles. That is all. It's barely politics.
All right.
These people don't really represent the people in real terms, and at the end, after this, they will continue chopping the money and they're sucking the country dry in the name of democracy.
Okay.
The election tomorrow, I'm sorry, I for one will not respect any person in the name of chief in that house or regional councillor. For me, it's no news. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fay Elvis. Now let's get your last opinion, last word from you, John Mbah Akoro. Just 30 seconds now. The separatists have been calling for lockdown ahead of tomorrow's exercise. Now, there have been several lockdowns. Now, just in 30 seconds, how successful has it been yielding fruits, these several lockdowns which we've been calling? It's, of course, it's a difficulty it's posing on the people who are on the ground now. Has there been any success recorded, if any? Now, tell us so far, the several lockdowns, how fruitful has it been? 30 seconds, please.
Getting back to me, but when you tell me 30 seconds, when you give concluding remarks to others without giving them even time frame, I'm already getting very worried, because you make me nervous and you already make it difficult for me to present an argument. But what I will say very quickly is that, yeah, those lockdowns definitely have their effects, because the lockdowns are simply meant to send a message, and they are meant to let the world understand that La République du Cameroun constantly tells lies when they try to give the impression that everything is over. Our people don't want to have anything to do with La République, and that is clear. I'm of the civil society. We have never, ever favored arms. And we have seen our voices drowned by those who favor arms because of the brutality, the continuous refusal by La République du Cameroun to get to the negotiation table and get into the crux of the matter. When people sit down and quote the British government or the US government as saying that they recognize the results of the 1961 referendum, they are tacitly joining the British government to recognize that these are two separate entities that came together If the British government were saying that they recognize that we have always been one country and there is no reason talking about separation, I would have understood that differently. But when they say they recognize the results of the referendum of 1961, they are tacitly recognizing that we have a right to any other referendum anytime we want, because in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, the people of Scotland have had a number of opportunities to go to the polls to determine whether they want to stay within the UK or not. With respect to Canada, the people of Quebec have done that a number of times. With respect to even the United States of America, the people of California have stood up and said, they want to have a referendum. The government didn't say no. The government said, if you are able to gather signatures enough to require a referendum, you will have it. There is divorce because they recognize that if you get married to someone and tomorrow you think that is working, you have a right to, redress it. So I want to tell those who keep thinking that because the British said they recognize the result of the 1961 referendum is a death penalty, it's a recognition of the fact that we have the right to seek another chance to have another referendum if we want. Although we don't even need it, but it is a clear indication that we are separate people who came together through peaceful means and that we are still free to make recourse to those means to be able to go away if we are not satisfied. When a gentleman who is built up in Crook Creek comes to the set and say, we went to Switzerland and we're asking for money, I want to let him know, if the people of the Southern Cameroons want money from the Paul Biya government so that we continue to stay under them as slaves, they would give us that money a long time ago. Long before now, they would have dished out that money to us. And when he is talking about people, not having balls to talk, I want to remind Mr. KJ, I know Mr. KJ is young, too young, he might not even have been able to express himself when I was sitting in Cameroon on various sets, sitting with those members of government, sitting with those elite and telling them to their faces that things were not working. Yes, Mr. Kedia, I have balls. I was sitting there and telling them. But do you know why I escaped? Because I needed to live again to face this and to continue saying it. What I want to let you know is that when you see Honorable Weber abroad today, it is not because he doesn't have balls. He told them in their parliament, something you cannot do. But when he needed to be alive to continue, he decided to move. I want to let you understand that when you say people are swimming in pools, you go pick pictures of 2010, 2013 to come and make fallacies. The fact that there is war doesn't mean that even those soldiers who are fighting at the war front don't go and swim. They do swim. But the fact that they swim doesn't mean that, problems have ended. I like to let everyone understand here, those elections have no bearing in the Southern Cameroon, or call them those appointments. They didn't even have to create an opportunity to kill many more people in the name of elections. The CPDM has never organized elections. They have organized selections or appointments. And the people that they appointed on the 9th of February in the name of parliamentarians, mayors, and whatsoever, where are they working? Are they not all living in Yaoundé? They are only coming occasionally in armored cars to turn around and, siphon money in the name of taking up those positions? I want us to know this. The people of the Southern Cameroons are in control of their territory. The civilians in the Southern Cameroons who have never wanted war, who have never asked for war, continue to do what civilians do when they are not happy. They decide to strike in one way or the other. And in our case, they are observing ghost towns. I'll just read you an article from the Washington Post that says, in Cameroon, they are now saying Cameroon as a whole, there are just 4 working days a week. Because even internationally, it is recognized that the people of the Southern Cameroons have set aside one day to show the world always their discontents, their unhappiness, and to make the world know that anytime anyone from La République du Cameroun tells them that everything is over, they should know that it is a lie. Okay. The government of La République du Cameroun no longer believed. They don't believe, not even their international partners believe in them anymore. Yeah. So that because selection has been dismissed already internationally.
All right. John Bakuro, thank you. Thank you very much. Now, Senior Barrister Emmanuel, tomorrow will definitely come and pass. Shall we still remain on the same spot? The elections will definitely happen tomorrow, even though it's been boycotted by the main opposition parties in these 2 regions. But tomorrow, we're still going to see it happen. Now, does it mean we've moved a step forward? with the presence of regional councillors in these two regions?
Yeah, thank you, sir. You see, we have to be true to ourselves. We all know that, like some caller indicated, most of the chiefs who will be running for election are hiding in Yaoundé. We all know that.
So what happens then?
We all know that the Minister of the Transition received them in a meeting, and we all saw them. You see, we know. The phone of Saw, we have the images that are being sent. That the phone of Saw is now going back home inside armored car, inside armored car with 4 armored cars. So we know that the people who are going to be running are not representative of the people. We know that. Now look at what is the population of Southern Cameroon. How many councillors are there? About 1,000 councillors for 3 million people. That's, I mean, what representation is that? It doesn't mean anything. You see, there's something too. There's also a question of dynamics. You have political dynamics and you have physical dynamics in the field. Somebody talked here of the people not adhering to ghost towns, and that it is because of fear that the people are forced to be obeying. Now, I think we have to look at that also and say that truly, I had asked this question sometime. If the people don't like the Amber, why is it that the surveys are showing that the people are supporting what the Amber people want? Why? Why are the people not indicating? Because the Amber people, the population has never indicated. I mean, they don't reveal the positions of the Amber camp so that the military finishes them. Why?
Because, of course, they're scared.
Because, no, scared how?
Those that showed it were
oh, my brother.
the girl Moroka, all of them, those that showed the military were killed.
Please, 4 years running. If the population was not with the Amber fighters, I am telling you that they would have indicated to the military the Amber position so that we don't talk about it. The government should understand that this thing is a political problem that has the adherence of the people and solve it politically. Because if you don't call the people to the table, you don't call the people's representative to the table, you will not get to the source of the problem. Because so long as the people have it inside their stomach, they will continue supporting their fighters, and you will continue wasting people time there, sending soldiers who meet their demise, and the problem will continue. So this council thing is a farce, because it is one thing to elect the councillors, it's another thing for these councillors to effect the change in the ground. What change do you think a councillor who is hiding in Yaoundé will effect in Bamuso? And in Akwaya, where he has no access? In the BLM, where he has no access? What change? So it is not, it is not feasible.
Okay.
We should ask the government to do what is feasible, to do the correct thing instead of trying to fool people with this type of window dressing.
All right, Senior Barrister, thank you. Let me end with you, Dr. Nick Ngwanyam, just in maybe 30 seconds, a brief summary and a way forward. What should we do at this point in time? After tomorrow, regional councillors will be elected, and we must have moved a step forward.
It's just unfortunate that we have run out of time. We have just barely a few seconds to go. Because I wanted to expound on something that I've been trying to say on some media, to say that what we are going to have is just another exercise. But the problem that Cameroon and many other African states are going through is that we got political independence, but we don't have economic independence. And we don't understand problems, we don't know how to solve problems, and we cannot create wealth. And because we don't have these things, even in Cameroon, you like to change the CPD and put MRC or put CPDM or SDF or put Cabral Libi. Nothing will change because all these people are one, and we are functioning at this level of things when things are happening up here. So the Chinese will still come and colonize us. So we are playing the wrong game here. Put as many councillors as you want, do whatever you want. Nothing will change because our mindsets don't solve our problems.
Okay. So it's a general problem and a problem of mindset.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thanks for being there today on the program. Those of you who took out time to watch us, I want to thank you very much for your different opinions. This day on the Pan-African debate, we're discussing on Cameroon and the regional election scheduled for tomorrow, December the 6th. We shall come back here to evaluate the outcome of the election so far. Thanks for being there again. Thanks to those of you who called, those of you who sending your reactions or you comment on Facebook. We very much appreciate it as well. Until then, stay tuned for more programs like yours right ahead on Africa Media. Rebroadcast Monday, 3 p.m. Central African Time, 15 hours West African Time.